Welcome to episode 16 of the Gingerspyce Tiefling Druid. In this episode, I'm going to be doing the Magma Must Flow in Sharn in the Cogs, and I am level 16. We'll take a look at where things are, and we'll start with the gear. In this episode, I'm going to be using my former gear set. So last episode, I used a new gear set, which I went over all the pieces and talked about the differences in, spell power and spell DCs and stuff like that, and some defensive numbers as well. And in this build, it focuses more on the defensive side of things. Remember, this is a quasi-tank kind of a thing, so I'm not really going for max DCs and max spell power and stuff. So I'm going to be going with my old gear set for now, and we'll see how that works. Like I said, I really like the stacking 25% mischance instead of just the blur at 20%. I get to use my beloved torque, but it's a simple swap to swap out like the pendant of the Azure Sea, and maybe once I get or water elemental form next level, maybe I will use that. That's just a one swap. I don't have to do all the pieces of that set, and I'm also sticking with the Thrumming Spark Chord. And so just to show you my numbers here. And before in the last episode I had my fire spell power up to about 400, which means my cold spell power was 400 as well, because I had that enhancement that substitutes fire for cold and vice versa. But my electric was down in like the low 200s. So now I have them all at about 300, and I've got my electric lore, which I was missing in the last episode. So it's just this way I have 3 decent spell powers. None of them are great, but I do use a lot of different elemental types. So 3 decent with most of the lores covered. I don't have acid lore. My acid spell power is not very strong, and I am using 2 acid spells at this level now, which I'll mention when I get to spells. So you'll get to see the performance with this gear set in this episode. So the gear that I'm using is the Resistance 6 Healing Amplification Insightful Spell Save 2 Crafted Trinket. The Torque of Prince Rayum on the neck. The Pansophic Circlet, big universal spell power there. Green Steel Heroic Concordant Opposition, big stacking spell points and charisma skills. Scales of the Exile from Madness of Crowds, really nice armor for caster Druid, especially the way that I play, because it's got big insightful Constitution on there, as well as insightful Wisdom, parrying, really nice stats. Part of the Wayward Warrior set. Big stacking hit points from the Heroic Green Steel Mineral 2 bracers. And the Legacy double slotted ring crafted with insightful physical sheltering, false life con 8. Crafted boots, slotted with death block, dex 8, sheltering 19. Insightful spell sight. Blurfinger gloves, again, just for the big 25% stacking mischance. Got the Scald ring, and this has big necromancy focus. I'll be using this for the remainder of heroics, because I do like to use Finger of Death in upper heroics. I'll be replacing this once I get to 20, because Finger of Death, it could be used, at least the way that I have things set up. I've used it successfully in lowly epics, but probably will be not using it beyond level 20 or 21, if that. The Thrumming Spark Chord for big stacking magnetism and glaciation, also my source of ice lore and lightning lore. Wisdom 8, big intimidate and insightful magical sheltering on the crafted cloak. Giant's Platter, the other piece of the Wayward Warrior set that gives me some stacking natural armor and constitution. There's the 2 pieces. Nice source of vitality, a little bit higher protection, nice shield. And the Wild Flame is the same as last episode. Big combustion, it's got fire lore on it, and big evocation focus. And it's the sickle and the shield that are part of the Seasons of Change set, 2 pieces. You could dual wield the Wild Frost and Wild Flame if you prefer not to use a shield. And this gets the plus 10 artifact bonus to fire and cold spell power, and plus 1 artifact bonus to evocation DCs. Okay, enhancements. Made some changes. So since my spell powers, my fire and cold are basically the same right now, I got rid of the Infernal Sovereign, which let me substitute the higher of the two for both, because I don't need them. They're both the same right now. So I got rid of that. That freed up like 4 points, and decided to give Hellish Rebuke a try again. So I got it loaded up there on my buff bar, and that's a buff that lasts 19 minutes, and it makes enemies take some fire damage when they hit me. It does scale with fire spell power, so I'm curious, now that I'm higher level, to see if that does anything interesting. So I just picked that up, haven't even played with it yet. And I also picked up the Obscuring Darkness. I wanted to play with this some more. I got to remember to cast that. The last few levels that I had that, before I had dumped it, I had kind of forgotten about it and wasn't using it. So I got the Obscuring Darkness, gives a 20% miss chance, and later on there's going to be some additional bonuses while I'm in Obscuring Darkness, which I'm thinking might work for my playstyle because, I like to throw down my own personal hurricane with the Earthquake and the Sleet Storm and the Ice Storm and the Storm of Vengeance, and all that jazz, and just kind of fight in the middle of it, and throwing the Obscuring Darkness with those other bonuses that I'm going to get later could be interesting. But for now, I only have the Lasting Darkness. It says when enemies enter your Obscuring Darkness, they have a chance to be blinded with no save. I didn't find that procced very much when I tested it out earlier, but we'll play with it some more. And then later on, I'm going to be able to get Student of Darkness, which says while in Obscuring Darkness, you get +3 saving throws, +3 magical resistance rating, and +15 magical resistance cap. I don't think that cap will help me. And then ultimately, Servant of Darkness, the tier 3 says while in Obscuring Darkness, you gain +30 universal spell power and +2 evocation and conjuration DCs. So I really wish that the Obscuring Darkness was something that moved with you, like a cloud that surrounded you, but instead of putting it, something that's static that you cast in place. But it is what it is, and we'll play with it and see if it seems worthwhile. Nothing new over here, I don't think. I do have all 17 of my points spent in Nature's Protector. That's as far as I'm going to go. It might have been new since the last episode, I'm not sure, but +3 Sacred bonus to all saving throws. Yes, I'll take some big saves, thank you. So that's as far as I'll go here, and then in the Season's Herald tree, I'll pick up Wax and Wane, and then that's probably as far as I'll go. Once I get into Epics, I will dump Wand and Scroll Mastery. This is wonderful during Heroics, but in Epics, and once I get to Endgame, I don't want to spend those 3 points there. But really nice during Heroics. Big proponent of Wand and Scroll Mastery during Heroics. So that'll free up 3 points that I'll be able to spend elsewhere, and ultimately I think I want to try to go for the Falconry tree and get those big stacking hit points and a point of con and some other goodies out of there. I don't have that open yet. I don't even have the favor, and I haven't unlocked it yet, so I'm definitely going to have to do that during this series. Let's see, feats. There's no new feats to mention, but I did pick up a point of wisdom. We get a build point every 4 levels, so I pick wisdom every time. On the spell side, I do have another 8th and 7th level spell, so now I have both the regular version of Sunburst and Finger of Death. So the regular version of Sunburst, as I mentioned before, I turn off, Empower, and Maximize because I'm really just going for the blinding effect. I do keep Quicken on, though, because I want to make sure it doesn't fail in the middle of combat. But just as a spell point savings, I turn off the Maximize and Power. Of course, for the SLA version, Maximize and Power are always on. But for the regular version to save mana, just turning off Empower and Maximize, just have Quicken, again, really just going for the blinding effect, part of my crowd control. And then I also picked up Creeping Doom. This is a spell that for years I overlooked, and it's easy to overlook because when you cast it, it like shoots a swarm of insects at your target, and it moves really slowly. I mean, laughably slow, so it's really easy to sort of blow it off and be like, this is a joke, right? Well, what I didn't realize for a long time is that not only is it a dot, but it's like it has a splash effect, so that when it hits its target, it then splashes onto all nearby mobs. So it's actually an AoE dot. It hits every mob near that mob that you hit with it. And so it's like you can hit a whole bunch of mobs with this dot with a single casting, and that makes it awesome. And so I do a lot of close quarters fighting, so a lot of times I'm not casting it at mobs that are far away. It's hitting them, a lot of times right in front of me. So it doesn't take long for it to hit its target when it's right in front of me. Worth mentioning that in Update 38, the damage type was changed. It used to be a poison damage spell, but people complained, that poison was an awkward damage type. There was no way to amp it up. There aren't any poison spell power items and crit chance items. So in Update 38, they changed this to an acid dot, and so now it's affected by acid spell power and acid lore. Don't think there's any other spells to mention. I did end up picking up Call Lightning Storm. I don't really use that spell very much. And I haven't really played with it much since they made some changes to it. I guess it scales with levels better now than it used to or something. So just never really got in the habit of using that one. Never was impressed before with it. But like I said, I haven't done much with it since they made some changes to it in Update 38 with the way that it scales. Nothing new to mention on the Reaper trees. I'll be getting Tier 3 at level 17 next level. And as far as the quests that I've done, I've just done level 16 in the cogs, which is where I'm about to go. So I've actually already done the one I'm about to do, and I did it last level. When I was level 15, Magma Must Flow, but it's a level 16. I soloed it on R5. I actually died a couple times. One time because I was being very careless, but the other time I just had a Fear Reaper and some nasty dot champions, and we'll see how it goes this time. I'm going to go ahead just for comparison, for my own comparison purposes. I'm going to try to do it on R5 again. Also did I didn't do no refunds. Did roll call in the cogs, scavenger hunt, security detail. Those are the 4 cogs, 16s, and that's all I've done so far. You can see I'm already into 17. Okay, let's go to the Magma Must Flow. Alright, here we are at the Magma Must Flow, and there was one other thing I wanted to mention that I haven't talked about before yet, and that is that your season, when you switch into elemental form, now automatically changes to the associated season. So when you switch to fire elemental form, it automatically activates the summer season. I can manually toggle it back to winter if I wanted to. So like if I'm fighting, a boss that takes more cold damage than fire, or is immune to fire or something, and I want to make sure I hit it with better cold, I could switch to the winter season, if I was in fire elemental form, or if I was in neither form, for example. I am lazy though, so I don't tend to do that as much as I should in any event. I'm actually going to drop out of fire elemental form for the beginning of this quest because it's a bunch of fire mobs, and then later on after I get past the fire part, I'll switch over to fire elemental form for the remainder of the quest. Okay, let's do Reaper 5. It definitely was slow going when I did this on R5, the last level. Hoping it'll be a little quicker now, but we'll see what happens. Oh, you know what? I do want to be in fire elemental form because that gives me higher PRR. That's 16 more PRR from elemental toughness. But since we are fighting mobs that don't take fire damage, let's go ahead and switch to winter season. Okay. Hit our Vile Blasphemy. Our candies from Night Rebels. Let's go ahead and do a couple Yugo pots, okay? Because that's what they're for. Give us some stacking hit points in con, and +1 to our DCs with 2 points of stacking wisdom. Ooh, didn't finger that guy, so we'll give him the Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold action. That Stygian looks nasty, so we're going to stun him with Salt Ray, and we'll do Greater Creeping Cold and Creeping Cold on him. So he's stunned with the Salt Ray, and we'll just let the dots do their work, and he's dead. Can we finger this Infernal Pact? Yes, we can. So you can go over the lava up there if you want to, but you're going to have to fight extra Hellhounds if you do that. So you can just go through the lava, or you can kind of go on the side like so. Some platforms here, and then maybe just get once by the lava, right? Spell power boost. Let's do Earthquake, Ice Storm, Sleet Storm. Let's give them the double shot of Sunburst to make sure they're all blinded. Beast Mark didn't want to get fingered, but we'll throw the Creeping Doom on him. That splashes on all of them. That Demon Soul wants to get fingered, doesn't he? Yes, he does. I'll throw another. Another Earthquake down there. And where are we at now? I'm just finishing guys off with SLAs. Yeah, I'll take that Lost Soul. Hit another Power Drain off of our Vile Blasphemy, and those guys are taken care of. Throw a couple heal scrolls on ourselves. And I'm going to try to do all these mobs in one big pile. So let's get fully healed. That mob's on the right and left. I'm going to get fully healed. Okay, and then I'm going to throw my displacement scroll. I'm going to hit my temporary hit points. Got a Famine Reaper, so that means Pale Lavender, Earthquake, Ice Storm, Sleet Storm, double shot of the Sunburst. And let's go ahead and do a Creeping Doom on all this mess. Double Famine Reaper. They're going to eat up my crap real quick. And by crap, I mean spell absorption. Reapers are actually affected by Earthquake. It's deceptive, though, because when they're caught in the Earthquake, they just don't move. So you kind of don't even realize it. I'll throw another Ice Storm. Can we Finger of Death the Soul of Ice? Yes, we can. Let's throw another Creeping Doom. Why not? And another Earthquake. Let's finger that guy. We'll finish this guy off with a Call Lightning and a Creeping Cold, which will end him. How about some more Sunburst action? Focus on this Elemental Fury. Our SLAs. That guy wants to hump the lava. I don't know. He's blinded. He doesn't know what's going on. Okay, so now I can just take my time. All these guys are blinded. I'm in no rush. Right? Do a Creeping Cold over there. Swing our weapon at this guy. Call Lightning. How about a Word of Balance for you? What's going on over here, buddy? Call Lightning and Creeping Cold. We'll finish this other guy off with a Word of Balance. No sweat, Ace. Now we got our shrine right there when we want it. Didn't take too much damage, a little bit. Throw a couple healing scrolls. Now we got cold mobs, so guess what? I'm gonna go into summer season, because that will amp up my fire spells a little bit. Let's throw a firewall on those guys. Ooh, I can do a... Oh, jeez, oh Peach. This is where I died last time when I tried to sow at last level. I take extra damage from cold spells. And when you're in fire elemental form, you take extra damage from cold spells, so maybe that's why they're getting me so good. And then I had a Fear Reaper on top of that, and then I raised myself and then came right back into the fight without healing myself, which is not very smart. Oh yeah, that Archeron hurts. Whoo, he definitely hurts. What is he putting on me? Great Sundering. Hit a Vile Blasphemy. Heal ourselves up a little. Get this Lost Soul. Throw a Firewall on those guys. They can't reach me actually up here, because they can't get over this gap. I can't. I think the Mark of Law has Death Block, so I'm not going to be able to. Hey, it's an enemy Ice Storm. I can use Gust of Wind to blow it out, I think. Did it miss, or is it not working? Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm out. But let's see if I can just use, like, Produce Flame to... No, I'm gonna have to go use that shrine. That's okay. They can't get to me. So I'm safe here. What I can do is I can clear to the end fight and then come back and double up on a Leary. You know, I'll be able to use her once, have her rest here, and then use her again. So hopefully I'll be just about topped off for the end fight. Let's stun him with the Salt Ray. Yep, he's stunned, so he's going to take extra damage. I'm going to throw a Firewall on him. Take care of those Mephits too. Oh crap. We Salt Ram to stun him one more time. Whew. Battle of attrition. Now we're going to have to wait for me to use heal scrolls. It's slow, but it can be done. Vile Blasphemy. Get some spell points back. $75 hit points at a time. Only 70 more castings of it will get me back to full. But it's not costing me spell points doing it this way. Almost there. Good show. Hit my temporary hit points. So we're going to have some exploding spiders there, and we're just going to we're going to stand in them and see if we can just withstand their explosions. There was one, no problem. We have 65% fire absorption in fire elemental form, so they're blowing up on us, no problem. Yesterday during the live stream, I let 4 of them, and one of them was a champion, blow up on me at the same time, and I was fine. Ooh, that one got a good hit on me. Can we just finger him? Yes, we can. Stun him. So he takes extra damage from our SLAs. Well, all of our spells. Restun him. And he's done. So now we just have end fight left. I'm once again out of hit points. But I'm going to go back and double up on a Leary. Because we can. We probably could finish the end fight with what we got. But let's be safe. And this, you know, again shows the value of a Leary, and some one of the little tricks that you can do with her. You can double up with her at the shrine. We pull her out. And we use her up. We might as well throw some heal scrolls on ourselves while we're doing that. I've got her Divine Vitality ability hotkeyed. That's why you don't see me clicking on our hotbar. Okay, now that she's used all her Divine Vitality, I can just have her rest. And as soon as she rests, she's going to have all of them back, and I can get it again. Do Vile Blasphemy. Just like before, you know, I'm not saying you should come in here and solo this on R5 on this build. I'm just, you know, it's a fun challenge, see how it performs. It's nice to see that I can do it if I want to, you know, if I can't find a group to get that first time bonus. Hey, if I'm willing to spend a little extra time, I can come in here and solo it on R5. You know, and doing it on R5 is going to give a lot more Reaper XP than doing it on R1. And we're almost back at full. Hell yeah, thank you, Illyri. Great little investment for people who like to play casters. I'll go ahead and hit another charge of Vile Blasphemy. Oh, I forgot about this group. Can we finger the orange name? Yes, we can. And we're gonna stun the... Oh, no, we're not gonna stun him. We'll give him the Greater Creeping Cold action. Yeah, now he's stunned. Who's left here? Ooh, that guy. We'll finger him. Yep. Word of balance on him. How about some Scorch action? We'll stun you, we'll stun you. You're both blinded. Another Word of Balance. How about another Scorch? Alright. We'll hit our Vile Blasphemy again. We're going to top off. And we're going to do something else. We know we're going to an end fight. So we're going to use our Clicky from the Night Revel's Regalia robe thingy. This thing, which is going to give me... Oops, is that it? Yeah, they're 25% festive bonus to spell critical damage. It lasts for 90 seconds. That's pretty good. Make sure we put on our armor. Afterwards, your heavy armor doesn't equip very quickly, so you don't want to do that in the middle of a fight. But if you know you're going into a big fight, you can do that. As soon as he activates, I'm going to hit my temporary hit points from my Winter's Heart. Reaper Power Boost. Hit him with all 4 of my dots now. Creeping Cold, Greater Creeping Cold, Creeping Doom, and Enveloping Swarm. Famine Reaper, that means put on the Pale Lavender. Or other spell absorption. We'll go ahead and do a regular Call Lightning to finish him off. And the Creeping Cold should take care of him. We'll stack him up with our 4 dots again. The Famine Reaper's dead, and my spell absorption is used up. The boss is almost dead. There he goes. And I still have all this mess to deal with. Okay, so... there's a champion in there now. He's dead. Let's do Ice Storm. Sleet Storm. They're so blinded, they don't know what's going on. Let's do Scorch. Some of them won't be affected by fire now for a few seconds. Let's see if we can show that. Okay, we'll look at this method here. We'll examine him. I'm going to hit him with Scorch. And the fire... let's see... take additional fire damage. Yeah, but the actual vulnerability to fire only lasts a few seconds. That's that right there. It was like 5 seconds. Ultra Scorch Wounds. Your resistance to fire has been nullified. So it's only like 5 seconds of that fire immunity taken away, but that's enough to get a few hits in, right? Finger that guy. We got mana left to burn. Greater Creeping Cold in that one. Creeping Cold in the other one. There's a Greater Creeping Cold for him. It's overkill, but can we finger the Light Bearer? Yes, we can. Okay. And all this stuff is going to sleep. Good night. And now we just have to do the puzzle, and then we win. So like I said before, not meant to solo, but it's nice to be able to solo. You know, it's a modest pace, but if you want to solo with it, you can. You know, it's designed for party play, support role, you know, lots of different roles you can fill. You can do, you know, some spell, supplemental spell damage. You can do crowd control. You can be a tank. And if all that isn't working out and you're in a group, hey, you can always play the healer. It's a very valuable role in Reaper questing. Let's see if maybe we get a nice Bronze Dragonscale Plate. No, we got it, but no mythic bonus. So. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my build, you can respond to my build post in the Druid forum. And if you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube.